Hey, welcome back. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. It is a Wicked Woman Wednesday. The markets are in wicked form today as they are in recovery mode after being down the last couple days. Today, up almost 300 as we speak. We'll keep you posted on all that. But way more importantly, we got the debates. We got all kinds of stuff happening around the world with the coronavirus. But to break down everything that's happening in these Democratic primaries and all this craziness, two of my favorites are here. David Eisenbach, he's a professor at Columbia University. He's also a former candidate in New York City for public advocate, and he's our own presidential historian. And of course, Johnny Burnett joins us, managing director of One Empire Group. He's a columnist for Newsmax, and he was a candidate for New York City Controller. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today.
Good to be here.
So I want to take a look at some clips. There was a lot of attacks going on last night. It seemed like there was all kinds of craziness. I can't even figure out who everyone's attacking anymore. The attacks are just flying everywhere.
Mix it up.
Yeah, they're mixing it up. They're stealing our idea, guys. Let's take a look at this clip, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Have that clip ready yet, or we may have it momentarily. I did yesterday a little breakdown. Everybody was talking about how Bernie said, Fidel Castro did something good with the literacy brigades and everything, and lost in the shuffle there was, his comments about another dictator down in Nicaragua. He was talking about Daniel Ortega, and he said that, he thought they were loving people, the Sandinistas. He thought that Daniel Ortega was oppressive. And he said he thought they were kind of like hippies, like him. But meantime, he's another one, persecutes Christians and Catholics, represses his people, shuts down news, no free press down there. But apparently Bernie thinks they're loving and impressive. But let's take a look at what he had to say about Cuba. I'd like to get your thoughts.
Sanders.
Can I say one word on
this? It's in the same theme, sir. You've praised the Chinese Communist Party for lifting more people out of extreme poverty than any other country. You also have a track record of expressing sympathy for socialist governments in Cuba and in Nicaragua. Can Americans trust that a democratic socialist president will not give authoritarians a free pass?
I have opposed authoritarianism all over the world, and I was really amazed at what Mayor Bloomberg just said a moment ago. He said that the Chinese government is responsive to the Politburo. But who the hell is the Politburo responsive to? Who elects the Politburo? You got a real dictatorship there? Of course you have a dictatorship in Cuba. What I said is what Barack Obama said in terms of Cuba, that Cuba made progress on education. Yes, I think, really? Really?
Yes,
Literacy
because there's no
programs are
comparing
bad.
those two
What Barack Obama said is they made...
Dave, it's your team. I'm going to give you the first crack at this one.
Well, they did make progress on education and on health care, and I'm not sure that that's debatable at all. Now, it's not debatable.
We're about to mix it up, buddy.
Yeah,
the literacy
if you're teaching
rate
kids to read, at the same time you're killing and persecuting their parents, it's not exactly something,
Well, first of all,
they're
not teaching about capitalism. They're not teaching about actually putting these principles that we put together, right, to actually improve yourself. They're teaching people to prepare them to be servants.
Well, that's true. Many people have said that they were teaching them to read so they could feed them propaganda, and they can just read what the government wants.
Well, why do you think
read.
we established our public school system in America? We created a public school system to make good workers who would pledge the allegiance every morning and would learn about American history to be loyal Americans. That is a fact. That's what governments do. The effect is that the literacy rate did skyrocket both in America and in Cuba for whatever motivations the government has for teaching people how to read.
John, education without opportunity is brainwashing. That's what you need to realize.
So when they say, well, Amy Klobuchar was saying we should open up trade with Cuba because the people are great people, seemed like to me she was kind of pandering to the South Florida audience there when she was talking about the people are great, but the government, like you can't open up trade with a government, right? You don't trade with people, you trade with governments. What we know is repressing and killing people.
We have had an irrational sanctions approach to Cuba that didn't work. It's going on now, we're in 50 years, 60 years of doing the same old thing. It hasn't worked. It hasn't changed the regime. If we opened up trade, allowed tourism, allowed dollars to flood into Cuba, I guarantee you the system will change.
Look, the more we talk about Cuba, Bernie wins. We need to talk about capitalism. We need to talk about the greatness of this country. You know, while Bernie Sanders touts Cuba's, investment into education, we need to tout what America stands for. We need to really actually educate the electorate, educate the youth, educate everyone on the greatness and goodness and everything that America has done. You know, there's a reason why China is tried to steal stealing our intellectual property, stealing our technology, stealing everything. You know the reason why they have 400 million people in the middle class? Why? Because of capitalism, not because of communism, not because of socialism, not based upon anything you find in Cuba.
Well, it
sounds compelling.
Look, we're not even debating what Bernie said, which was that we kicked this off. Literacy rate did go up. Healthcare has been expanded.
As long as you teach your kids to read in the country, it's okay to kill people and repress
but David,
people
everything
and all that
Castro
stuff is what you're
did
saying.
was not bad. He did some good. That's what Bernie
And
said.
America's not bad. We do a lot of great things in America. We need to start talking about the goodness of America, the greatness,
No one is
of
talking.
America.
I find it strange that when I watch these Democratic debates, I don't see a flag up there. I don't hear anybody talking about America, like what is good about America. They're all talking about transforming and all this other stuff. Like, maybe it's a slogan, keep America great. But I feel like America's pretty great right now.
You know what?
Why do we have to transform?
My dad always said, you know what? If people don't like you for being you, they're not going to like you for being someone else. We need to be like America.
Okay, but Donald Trump won on the idea of make America great again, meaning there was a problem with America. That is what happens with every challenger to the sitting president or the sitting party. The Democrats are doing nothing new by saying there are major problems with America. Elect us so we can fix
America is good. Making America great again means that, you know what? We can be great again. But actually, with the Democrats, your people, right? You're wearing a nice blue jacket.
Yes,
today, right?
yes, yeah.
Your people making it sound like it's all bad. Yeah. That's telling a wrong story to people that don't know the history of socialism.
They're saying that the system is rigged. This is Bernie's appeal. The system is rigged to the billionaire class who have been destroying the middle class for decades. And that is a winning message. That's the message that Donald Trump won on.
We're going to take a quick break. You guys are going to hang with me. We got some more stuff to break down. But my final thought on this is, on the whole stage there, okay, you got 2 billionaires and at least 1 millionaire, because Bernie's a millionaire. Yeah. So 3 out of the top candidates are all in the 1%. But they're going to be the ones who are going to advocate for the lower middle class. Well, they're all in the 1%.
If anybody on that stage is going to do it, it is Bernie, who's been saying the same things for decades.
And doing nothing.
Well, he's been a senator. We'll see what
he's been a public
servant
on the taxpayers'
One of 100. It's pretty good. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and mix it up some more right after this. David Eisenbach, John Burnett, hang with us. And Kristen Lombardo's coming up a little later. Alice Vaughn, the founder of Offensive Crayons and Sam's, is going to be here to break down the Weinstein verdict and all that stuff. Tom Kehoe, John Jackwish. We got a whole whopper of a Wednesday show for you. Quick break. Back at you right after this.